Hello everybody, it is Jen Ferguson here with Artistic Painting Studio and welcome to my page. Give me just a second, as always. Want to make sure that we're live on the correct page and then send out a couple of links. If you are not on our texting club yet, all you have to do is type the word texting into the comments and a link will be sent to you to get signed up. And that's what I'm doing right now, is just sending out a text to everybody. And then I'm going to make sure that that went out. Looks like it's going out. And I'm also going to go post over and foil everything, which is a fabulous creative group. If you're not a member over there already, you guys should go check it out and join. There's over 25,000 members and thousands and thousands of foiled projects over there. So lots of inspiration. Okay, almost got this done. And one more thing, here we go. Okay guys, I'm gonna open back up my regular page so I can see comments and questions. And there we go. Hello Karen, thanks for joining. So yesterday, we had a great live with a ton of questions, and I always love that because that means I'm definitely able to answer questions and guide a lot of people. So we had a couple of people say they're having some issues with transferring over a wood surface. So this is just a wooden round. This side has not been painted or anything. And we went through the process of transferring a foil, and even how to fix areas if you don't get a transfer in all the places, how to go back and maybe fix those areas, and all kinds of great tips and tricks. So the one thing here though is if I get this at the right angle, you guys can see there's a lot of texture underneath. Part of this was to do with the fact that the person that prepped these boards didn't use the best paintbrush and left a lot of texture with the paint underneath, and then our foil adhesive really does not self-level. So between those two layers, we're definitely going to have some texture. So depending on what angle you look at, from this angle you can't see all that texture, but if the light hits it just right and I show you guys, you can see a lot of that brush stroke underneath. Absolutely gorgeous foil. This one is called Easton Tooled Leather, and it came out beautifully. But I wanted to kind of go over the process of trying to eliminate as much brush stroke as possible. So I thought I'd cover that tonight and continue to answer questions regarding any of your projects and help you guys along. We love our foils, but we also want to make sure that everybody is being successful with their project, enjoying what they're doing, and happy with the results. So that's what I am here on the lives for, mainly, is to inspire you guys and help you along. So again, it's another one of those rounds, and I'm going to try and see if I can get the light to reflect any of the texture that's on here. Now this one was also painted by somebody else, but I took it outside and I used some 220 grit sandpaper on it and tried to smooth it out so that I had most of the brush stroke done. Okay, there's still some on here, but it's definitely way better than it was before. So if you are getting any kind of application marks from your paint job, you would want to sand those down and try to get them as smooth as possible. If you start to break through the paint a little bit, you might have to put a second coat on and again sand once more. Just trying to get the smoothest surface that we can get. From here, I'm going to talk about our foil adhesive. Okay, I'm going to put my camera down so that you guys can see what I'm working on. And also, I feel like I can't see all the comments and questions. I had this problem last night. Okay, I'm going to open back up again. Let's see if it's going to open the questions tonight. Okay. Let me refresh my page. Maybe that's it. But I do want to talk about trying to get the smoothest surface possible for your application and some tricks and tips on how to actually do that. Okay, I think finally, okay, I don't know what's happening, but yesterday it did the same thing. It pulled it up as a reel instead of as the video. Karen, if you are working on wood, yes, you do want to base coat your wood projects, and for two reasons. One of them, you always want to have a color underneath your foil that's going to complement the foil. So you want to make sure whatever color is on that surface is going to match or complement the color or pattern of foil that you are using. Normally under or on a cream style board, I would not pick a very dark foil, because I'll show you what can happen. So here I used our Urban Patina, wanting to show everybody what would happen if I paint or if I transfer this over a super light finish. Okay, and you can definitely see, I'm going to pull my camera up just a little bit more. You can definitely see all the imperfections because that cream color basically just kind of screams through that dark patina. So to show you, color choice, base color choice really matters. Okay, same foil, but this was applied over a black background, which is going to blend better with the foil color and all the different colors that are through this design. And even though there still are a little bit of imperfections, the black complements the foil so much better that you don't see them. So picking a color that will complement your foil is really necessary for it to come out looking best. And the other reason why you want a base coat is your wood is normally really porous. And if I put my foil adhesive directly over the wood surface, part of it will soak in to the wood, which will compromise the foil adhesive layer and not give me as great of a transfer. So long-winded answer, Karen, but yes, you definitely want to paint your wood first. I'm using Bondago, but we also recommend just a good high-quality acrylic. Be careful with any of your chalk paints because those can also be super porous as well. Gigi, you're great. She's just indicated that she's never had a failure when she followed all of my directions from her videos. When we take shortcuts, when we're trying to make things go faster, yes, there definitely can be failure. And I mean, I do things on here too fast, which I do. I get failure, and then I show you how to maybe work with that failure and to just make the best of it and go forward. So this board is painted. It is our canvas white. And I'm going to grab, this is what I call a sticky plate. It's where I normally transfer our foil adhesive to and work off of that plate instead of working out of your jar and your container. So this is the product that we're going to be using. It is our brand of foil adhesive. You will find it on our website. And, okay, whenever I haven't opened something for a while, sometimes you'll have a little bit of that adhesive that'll get stuck around the rim. Kind of be careful that that doesn't go back in. Yes, Bobby, great question. If you do have a chalk paint base and that is the color you want to work with, or that's mainly the paints that you have and you need to use that as your base, that is fine. Yes, you can seal the chalk paint and make sure that it is sealed well and then go forward, okay? I've done that before. The one product, and this is not saying anything bad about this product line, I do like their paints, I just can't foil over them, is DIY. Okay, so the DIY paint is super porous and you will guaranteed have failure, okay? So I didn't even know sealing over that would be work well enough. It is super, super porous, okay? Some of the chalk paints are not as porous depending on what the makeup is of the material. The DIY paint has a lot of clay. It's a very, clay is its main base. So that's what makes that one so porous. So you can always do a test. Just do a sample board and see what works best for you. Okay, I always take it out, like I said, and put it onto my sticky plate, and that way I can put my lid back on. I'm not going to screw my lid back on yet because I don't know if I have enough material out. But trying to get to the smoothest application, again, I sanded the paint, making sure it was pretty smooth. Now, did I do a fabulous job? No, I was standing outside of my RV and I had nothing to put this on, so I was just doing it by holding it. And I know my edges are still a little rough, but it's way better than it was. So that's one of the things that you can do, is to make sure that your brush strokes are sanded out. The other thing is, when you do take it out of the container and you put it onto a sticky plate, you can add a little bit of water. So this is just a mist style water bottle. When you spray with this, it is the finest mist coming out. You don't want to add more than about 2% water. You don't want to dilute your adhesive down so much that you can compromise your adhesion for the foil transfer, but you definitely can add a 1, 2, maybe 3%. Make sure you're mixing it in well, okay? Don't just spray it on top of the adhesive and leave it there. Mix it into everything that's on your plate. And the one thing that you're going to find is, oh, I got to get something underneath here. I don't want to have foil adhesive all over my mat. So I have a silicone mat that I work on, and I'm going to try to keep that clean and not make it sticky with foil adhesive. So I'm also going to brush in the direction of the brush strokes that were already on here, so I'm not creating texture going in any other direction. And then you want to work from one side to the other and not go back, okay? So that I can hold on to this easily, I'm going to start on the right hand side so I can hold it with my left hand, and then I'll work back over. So once I have the adhesive going on, I try to come back and do as full brush strokes as I possibly can. Well, I had a lot on my brush, okay, it went everywhere. Unfortunately, you can't see the application as well when I'm doing on a cream board, but it does look milky white. It will definitely make it look a little bit shinier, and you can still see that there are some brush strokes. I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about how to create the smoothest application possible with the foil adhesive, considering it is a non-self-leveling product. So if you guys want to see that video, I'll send you a link. Just put in, put the word adhesive, foil adhesive, in the comments, and I will send you guys the link, okay? But I work with a product called Floetrol and water together. But I would recommend that you watch the video. Unfortunately, I don't have Floetrol here with me to demonstrate that. But Floetrol is a additive that you can put in your paint to get it to flow smoother when you're painting it onto the surface. So again, it works with the foil adhesive. So anybody that wants that, just put foil adhesive in the comments and I will send you guys that link. Okay, it is on my YouTube channel, but I'll give you guys the direct link if you want it. Okay, so once you go across, if you're in a cool enough environment, it won't start to set up too quickly. But usually when I go from right to left or whichever direction I'm working, you really don't want to go back and brush into the area that has sat there for a while. It's already going to start to change its viscosity and its properties because now we've got a thin coat on the surface. And if you go back and brush in it, you're going to overwork the material, which is going to create even more texture. So I still have some brush strokes. I don't think these are going to be as strong as the ones that were on yesterday's project, but whatever I leave behind is pretty much going to stay there. It's not going to level out a whole lot more. So getting it to create the smoothest effect, definitely Floetrol will help. Okay, you're still going to end up with some kind of a brush stroke, but it I think eliminates a lot of them. Also, don't overwork, like I was indicating, and then you want to let this adhesive dry on its own. Don't try to rush it because when you speed dry the adhesive, I feel it just surface dries and doesn't allow it to dry well all the way through. So best to just let it dry. Okay, if you get it on your fingers, just wait a minute or so and you can just basically rub that stuff off, okay? Okay, I'm going to put this one aside because now it is super sticky. There's something else I was going to say about this and it slipped in and out of my mind. Lynn, yes, you definitely can use a roller. Okay, that was the other thing, Lynn. I was going to talk about the brush I was working with. If you're going to brush on your application, I suggest an artist wash brush. I would not be using a chip brush or a house painting brush. I don't even really like the foam brushes because they tend to not put on enough material. But you can get a roller. And I like to get a 1/4 inch nap roller head, okay? Those tend to put on enough material but not make it too thick. I also have another video on my YouTube channel that shows how to roll it on and to get the smoothest application possible. And you do roll back through it several times. So unfortunately I have no rollers here, but basically once you put the product on, okay, you can put it on and going back and forth, but as it sits on there, I'll come back with the roller and I'll go all one direction only. And with a lighter touch, you're still going to have a stippled effect from rolling it on because that's just the type of texture you're going to get from a roller, but at least it's consistent. And it's just a slight texture, okay? So definitely, my YouTube channel, you guys, has a lot of stuff. Not only does it have fun projects on there, tutorials that takes you all the way through the project, but there are so many videos on there that have stuff that is technical on, like I said, trying to get the smoothest finish, how you can apply the foil adhesive in different ways you can actually transfer the foils, lots and lots of videos. Okay, I think you guys could watch me all day. There's so many videos on there. Not that I would encourage that, but it's possible. Okay, I am looking for some of the foils that I wanted to use on this next round, and I was thinking it would be fun to make this kind of a Halloween look is what I had in mind. Okay, we're getting near that time of the year, so I'll look and see if I have an orange in here. I found my green and my purple. Let me see if we've got orange. Who knows? My collection of foils continues to grow, but it always seems that no matter how many I have, I still don't have everything I could possibly want. Okay, I'm even thinking I want to do some crackle. Oops, wrong one. So I'm pulling out a few different choices. And you guys continue. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in. I'm always here to help and answer as much as I can. Okay, I think this is going to be my best collection so far, okay? So this is how I store them while we're here in the RV. I try to just keep the heavy bags that we ship out in, and it really does hold quite a few foils, okay? Ooh, there's another one, okay? I shouldn't be looking through here now because now I'm seeing all kinds of things. But I have that other round that we just did, so I can always do something on that one later. As far as allowing your foil adhesive to dry, I want to go back to that for a minute. Yesterday, I did only allow the foil adhesive on this project to dry for about maybe 30 to 45 minutes and transferred, and I had really good results. But I'm a firm believer in the longer you let the adhesive dry, the better always is the release, okay? So make sure that you at least let it sit for 30 to 45 minutes. That's going to depend on your environment, how warm, how cool, how humid it is. The more humid your environment, the longer it will take things to dry. And that's not just the foil adhesive, that's all products, okay? Humidity can play a really, really big role in things drying slow. Okay, so my thought was some of our leopards, okay? I was thinking the leopard print and the purple and the green would be fun, but I also kind of want to see the crackle, okay? I'm going to put the sticker back on this one here. It's coming off. I was kind of thinking the crackle would be kind of cool, so I might put this in between and separate them. Because the crackle foil is just so cool, especially over black. Okay, it really goes over good over any color. I don't know if it would work over all of the busyness underneath these, but if I move that foil out of the way, you can see how cool it looks just even over white. It looks super cool over black. Again, I'm going to show you over the Easton. It probably is just going to look really, really busy. Better over less color, less busyness, okay? But it's holographic. So it's a silver pattern that's holographic, so it's going to always reflect the rainbow, okay? Okay, so to do this, it is best to have a nice I'm looking for my cutter. I'm thinking in here. Aha, there it is. Okay. Okay. Started to wonder where I had stored that there for a second, thinking, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't send it back to California, but I didn't. Okay, this is the best tool to use if you want to have a straight cut on your project. And I do want the foils to butt right up to each other. So, gosh, how much do I have of this? Okay, I am going to pull this through the correct way here. I got a lot of crinkling going here because I did not put this foil away really well. So I'm going to cut some of that off and then just line it up on here. And you can get a perfect straight cut for your projects. And the way I'm going to do this one, we're going to need those straight cuts. So I think I'm going to dominate in the green. So I'm going to cut a bigger piece of that. And then we're going to do the purple. So we're going to cut this. I don't know any other way to get perfect straight cuts, you guys, but this is by Fiskars, Fiskars. You'll definitely will find those at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. I think they're pretty much in the paper crafting area, but they're great for cutting your foils when you want straight perfect cuts. Okay, so let me see if I can get this done, okay, the way I'm envisioning. Sometimes we envision things and they come together. Sometimes we do and they don't. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. Like I said, I wanted this kind of to dominate. And get a nice straight line, okay? Oops. I love these stickers. Sometimes I don't. I promise you guys, these stickers that we use are supposed to be removable stickers, but I don't know what it is about them. After they have sat on there, I guess, long enough, they're just not that removable. Okay, we're going to put a little crackle in here. So we'll cut that one straight. Now I can bring the crackle up as far as I want. Okay, and that is just barely wide enough to get me all the way across. Okay. I might even have to add a little bit on this side. Oops, okay, it's grabbed, so we're just going to have to go with it, okay? I was trying to make sure I was straight all the way across, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I got as straight as I wanted. Okay. And the purple, here it is, okay. So the purple, I'm going to go across the top. And to make sure that you are spacing and getting your lines correct, before I would put my foil adhesive on, I would say go ahead and get out like a crafter's ruler that's clear so that you can see your measurements and just make some tiny little marks maybe on the side, or just enough of a little tiny dab of color that you can see, and that way when you line this up, you're going to be straight. Donna, the hologram foil here in the middle is called Holy Crackle. Totally a fun foil. It looks great over so many things. I did a pumpkin a few years ago, and I think I just painted the pumpkin orange and then did the Holy Crackle over the top of it, and it came out so cool. Okay, so I am going to scrub from the last piece going down. Okay, so I'm going to scrub across everything and then remove them one at a time, making sure I'm getting the coverage I want. But this is a fun way if you have a straight line to start with, at least on one of your foils or on one edge of the foil, even if the other side's not cut perfect. As you come forward, you can continue that straight edge, and it's really cool. I've done quite a few projects like this over the years. Okay, so pull back, critique, okay? If you see anything on the carrier sheet, and I do see a little bit of product, okay? A little bit of the metallization still there. I'm just going to lay that foil back and scrub again and see if I can get a little bit more coverage. And I usually just do that across the whole surface, okay? And then I'm going to go the other way because I don't want to just pull it all the way off. I'm going to come back and peek from that side, and that way I can get it to fall back into place and scrub again. So if you guys are new around here, this is just a plastic bristled brush. I try to find the stiffest bristles I can because I want to scrub with that. I feel that a scrub brush is your best tool for transferring because not only does it scrub across the carrier sheet without doing any damage, but when you lift that carrier sheet and put it back down, it's allowing the foil now to go into the lower areas of all your texture. So when you're using a scrub brush, you have that ability to kind of scrub it in to those lower areas. Okay, so our first foil is transferred. Okay, we've got the purple on there. Now the one thing you do want to be careful as you're coming and removing these down is I don't want to scrub along the purple, okay? I'm going to block that off with my sheet that I just removed, because if you scrub over the foil that's already been transferred, you can scratch it. So make sure you protect it. And then we're going to go ahead and check this one. Okay, on your transparents, you really want to get your edges scrubbed really well. So I'm going to get my toothbrush out here, okay, and scrub those edges because that's where you've got to start the transfer on these. And once you get them going, they will normally pull off close to 100%. This one actually did an over release there, so I'm going to have to pull that one up. But once you get them going, you will normally get 100% coverage. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I mean by over release too. I can get that. So this edge, hopefully you guys can see that on my hand. A little bit of the transfer still came off, even though there was no adhesive there to attach it to. And let me show you the best way to deal with over release. The clear transparent foils are the only ones that do that, but I normally will just take a piece of tape and just hit the edge of where it over released, and it's all going to come off. Now, I had some over release here too, but this is over the foil that was still on there. Okay, I just want to get it off, make sure it doesn't get transferred anywhere else, okay? So it just pulls onto the tape, which that is the best way to clean all that up. Okay, so far, okay, that's looking super cool. Okay, this is going to be definitely busy, but I feel like it looks like Halloween already, okay? So again, you guys always make sure you're protecting the foil you've already released. You don't want to scrub over that area. So I'm just using my piece of carrier sheet that I took off from the prior area to shield. And that way I can scrub up against that edge, but I am being careful not to disturb it, okay? So I get that one out of the way, and now we can keep down here on our green. Oh, that's looking great. Okay, I feel like I can scrub this edge a little bit more. So I'm going to put that back down. And keep picking, okay? So you'll find that 9 times out of 10, I'm always going to pull it back, check it, the release, put it back down again, and scrub one more time, just so I can get as much of that foil transfer as I can. The only foils that will normally give you 100% coverage are the transparents. All the rest of the foils are going to be somewhere in the 95 to probably 98% range of transfer. There will always be a little bit of your base coat peeking through. So again, this is why it's super important to pick a color for your foils to go over that's going to complement the foil. Now, I knew that I love the crackle, okay, over black. Okay, all the holographics and transparent foils just look great over black, but also our leopard and the purple and the green already have black in the print. So going over a black base is probably the best option, okay? So we've got a board ready to go. Now I just have to, I think I got to hit a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's here soon and see if I can find something that says Happy Halloween or something, so we can put a word on here, or if I can find a witch or something to paint and embellish this, and then we'll finish it off with a ribbon. I'll have to look and see what ribbons I have. I want to make a little door hanger out of this. I think it'd be cute. Now today, we were at Walmart. I'm telling you, our life is super exciting around here. The destinations we hit, okay? I found a couple of things. There was not much to pick from, but I found these words, and I just didn't know if they were going to be big enough, okay? But I thought with this sign, I could either do believe. I found hope, peace, okay? So I don't know if I want to do all of them on there or just maybe do one or two of the words. I don't know, okay? So I'm going to paint these so that they will complement this one. And I don't know, maybe we'll do hope. Maybe we'll just do one on here. Just one word, okay? It's not too off balance. Normally I like to have a little bit more better word or bigger words, but maybe we'll do believe and hope. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to paint a couple of these up. I'm probably not going to foil them. I think I'm just going to paint them just because I like for my projects to have interest in textures and different types of mediums. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint these, and then we again can create a fun door hanger for this and work on this as well. So that is pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions about getting your best transfer on a wood surface, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to help you guys out. Like I said, I want your projects to come out wonderful, and I want you to be proud of what you're doing. So we're here to help. And oh, okay, Gigi, I like your idea. Okay, I'm gonna have to look and see. I might have some flowers somewhere in here. I feel like there's something maybe underneath. I haven't gotten in my box underneath the couch in a while. Okay. Okay, so I think this really is fun. Okay, and kind of gives that whole vibe of Halloween. I feel like I got to get something orange on here as well. But thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. For those of you that are keeping up with our journey, we are taking off tomorrow and heading up to Camden, Maine. So we've got a big travel day ahead of us. So it means early night and early morning. Okay, guys, thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you soon. Bye.